lesson, we will be dealing with the meaning of kinghood. It is adopted from Howard Piles, the story of King Arthur and his knights. Take note that the picture I have used here to illustrate the characters are not their actual pictures. I just used them to stimulate your sense of sight. Now let's find out what happened in the story. So according to the legends, during the old times, there lived a king whose name was Uther Pendragon, who was known as the overlord of all Britain. In all his battles and undertakings, he was aided by two great persons, Merlin the Wise and Hight of Use. Merlin was known for being a prophet and an enchanter. He served as the king's advisor and counselor. The other one was excellent noble and renowned knight who is Hight of Use. He was thought by many to be the greatest leader in war of any man then alive. He gave Uther Pendragon an advice in battles. So with the help of Merlin and Hight of Use, Uther Pendragon was able to overcome all his enemies and became the king of the entire realm. After successfully serving as the overlord of Britain for a number of years, he took as wife a beautiful and gentle lady, Hight Igraine, the widow of Berlois, who is the Duke of Tendigal, by which prince she had two daughters, namely Margise and Morgana le Fay. When Hight Igraine was wedded to King Uther Pendragon, she brought with her her two daughters, and there Margise was wedded to King Urien of Gore, and Morgana le Fay was wedded to the King Lot of Brittany. Now after a while, Uther Pendragon and Queen Igraine had a son born to them, and he was very beautiful and of great size and strength of bone. While the child still wrapped in his swaddling clothes and lying in a cradle of gold and ultramarine, Merlin the Wise came to Uther Pendragon with the spirit of prophecy. So he told the king that he foresaw that their son would get sick and would die in a violent manner. So Merlin also emphasized that the king's son would be in danger since the other lesser kings will surely rise up with design to seize him for the sake of his inheritance. And either he would be slain or he would be held in captivity from which he could hardly hope to escape. Believing what Merlin had told Uther Pendragon, the king told Merlin that the most precious inheritance which he should leave in this land is his son. So Merlin and Orpheus brought the child to a safe place where he might be hidden in secret until he grew to be a manhood and was able to guard himself from such dangers. Shortly afterward, the king got sick as Merlin had foretold, and he died exactly as Merlin had feared that he would die. It was likewise as Merlin had feared, for all the realm fell into great disorder, as each lesser king contended against his fellow overlordship. Some wicked knights and barons became greedy and abusive. Some took prisoners and held for ransom, while others were slain because they did not have ransom to pay. It was a very common sight to see a dead man lying by the roadside. Thus, there passed nearly 18 years in such great affliction. Finally, one day, the Archbishop of Canterbury summoned Merlin and asked if he could find a way to stop what was happening. He told Merlin to find a king that will rule the country so that they may enjoy the happiness of life once more as they did in the past days of Uther Pendragon. Merlin replied and assured the Archbishop that this country will soon have a king who shall be wiser and greater and more worthy of praise than was even Uther Pendragon, And he shall bring order and peace, and this king shall be of Uther Pendragon's own full blood royal. The archbishop then asks, how then shall they know the real king from those who may proclaim themselves to be the rightful king? Merlin answered that if he allowed, he would use his magic. So, with his permission, he did his magic and said, whoever pulled this word from the anvil shall be the rightful king of England. And then Merlin gave the archbishop to command that every man has the permission to draw out the sword, and whoever succeeds in drawing it forth out of the anvil should be the right wise king. Then there was a knight, very honorable and of high state, whose name is Sir Ector of Bonmaison, who also possessed 7 castles in Wales. He has 2 sons, Sir Kay the elder, who is a knight of great valor and promise, and well renowned in the courts of chivalry. And the other one is Arthur, who nearly 18 years of age, who was serving with good repute as Sir Kay's esquire at arms. Now since there were lots of kings, dukes, and high birds to try to pull the sword from the anvil, the archbishop thought of an idea. He commanded that there should be a very noble tournament, and this would be held 3 days before the adventure of the sword. So Sir Kay received that news as his father's permission to join that tournament, and he chose Arthur to carry the spear and pennon. So Sir Kay did join the contest. In the middle of the tournament, Sir Kay was doing good, but it was a great pity for Sir Kay that with the fierceness of the blow from Sir Balamorginis, his sword blade snapped and left him with no weapon. So he told his brother Arthur to get him another sword. But Arthur asked where he should get a sword. Sir Kay answered. He told Arthur to go to their father's pavilion and fetch him another sword. So he went there, but Arthur didn't find any sword in the pavilion. In Arthur's extremity, he remembered that there was a sword into an anvil. So he ran there with all speed. Good thing there was no people there. And Viola, he then successfully pulled the sword with smoothness and ease. So he wrapped the sword in his clothes so that no one might see it, and went back to his brother. When Sir Kay beheld the sword, he immediately knew it. He asked Arthur where did he get this from. Arthur told him the truth. So Sir Kay then replied and commanded Arthur not to tell anyone about this. Then Sir Kay went to his father, Sir Ector. Sir Kay lied and told his father that he pulled out the sword from the anvil. To confirm if he was telling the truth, he asked Sir Kay to thrust it back again into the place where he did take it. He emphasized that if he indeed drew it forth from the anvil, it would be easy for him as well to thrust it back. And when they got there, Sir Kay weren't able to thrust the sword back from the anvil. Then that's the time Arthur told his father that he was the one who pulled the sword. To confirm it, Arthur did thrust back the sword from the anvil and was able to draw the sword again very swiftly and easily. Because of this, Sir Ector kneeled down before him and set his hand together, palm to palm, and said, Arthur, the time had come for you to know yourself, for the true circumstances of your life has been altogether hidden from you. When Arthur heard those words, he cried out loud. And when he was asked why he is acting like that, he answered that it's because he has lost his father, for he would rather have his father than be a king. And then when the morning came, many people gathered together to behold the essay of the sword, but only one was able to draw it forth from the anvil, a boy destined to be the king of all Britain. So that's the end of our story for today. I hope you've learned. Thank you.